Hey guys, Kate from K9, and I'm going to do a little bit of an intro to place session for you. So here on our YouTube channel, we have lots of videos of me showing working with place, whether it's a dog's first session or a couple in, but I think we're a little overdue of like a here's how I start brand new with a new dog. And I'm actually wanting to utilize this dog in particular because she's so anxious. She's nervous. You can probably hear some of that whining. She just got here yesterday, and she's just a very angsty dog. So while I love utilizing dogs that it's just like they're jumping on, they're having a great time, this is easy, I want to show you a dog that might struggle a little bit. I have no idea how she's going to do, but I want to break this up into 3 different little elements. The first way I'm going to show you is if you are just doing this on leash with your dog, no e-collar, whether you're utilizing slip lead or prong collar, I'm going to show you kind of how I would start that process. Then I'm going to show you my way. So kind of typically how I would start with a dog, especially once I've already done their tone follow session on day 1 or day 2. So that's what I'm going to start with and see how Miss Lyra responds to all of that. So the first phase should be really helpful for you at home if you're new to place and you're just like, how do I get started? Let's start simple because it's not always going to feel simple, and Miss Lyra might show us that. So right now I have her on a 6-foot slip lead, and all I'm going to try to do is get her onto this bed. That's all I care about currently. So I'm not even going to be labeling anything. I'm just going to give her leash guidance and body guidance to show her what I want. So I've got a little loop of leash. She's got 0 pressure on it right now. I'm going to put pressure on. So pressure on, point to this. I find that touching the bed sometimes good helps. Good girl. Good. Sometimes a dog will just step right off. That is okay. Guide them back on. You can tell like, nervy, she's gonna follow me. So here I am using more leash pressure. Good. Pressure comes off once the dog's feet are on the bed, okay? The second she steps off, I'm putting pressure back on. Good. Now we'll just do a couple of reps. Break. My release word is break. I'm gonna pause for a second. Lyra. Good. Pressure on. Good. I'm not worried about what position she's in from a standpoint of sit, down, any of that right now. Shh. Pressure on. Good. Pressure off. Initially, when you're working on this, you guys, don't put your dog on there and then walk away and hope that they do really well. Great if they do, but you need to show them every time they come off, we put them back on. Shh. Guiding. Good. She acts a little goofy. That's okay. I stay neutral. I stay calm. Same thing with your dog. What you might find yourself doing if this is your personal dog you're working with is, oh, Rover, no, get back on here. Less is more. Shh. Good. You might do a, guide him back on. You might go right to a verbal no. I do more of, especially with my nervy dogs like this, a shh, to kind of interrupt that. Nope, that's not what I'm looking for. Pressure goes back on. Shh. 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 Good. Did you see that? I'm letting her every single time step off. Every time. There, when I shushed and stepped towards her this time, I didn't even need to put leash pressure on. I would have let her fully come off, but if she's going to respond to that, beautiful. Good girl. I'm going to try offering her food, but she's not quite taking food yet, and that's okay. Oh, licking it. Sometimes I'll just set a piece on the bed to see if, shh. Good. It's a nice response. It's awkward. She looks awkward. She's thinking that's all okay. That's going to start working this brain of hers. Again, a happy-go-lucky, easygoing dog, or just an amped up dog is probably like, I'm jumping off, I'm jumping off, I'm jumping off. She's more just like, what do you want from me? Good. Good. So notice how as she's on here, before I'm going to release, I'm doing a little step away. Good. I want it to be very clear that I'm releasing her off. Lyra, break. Good job, girly. I'm going to start labeling it. This is a fast-forwarded version. Lyra, just so that you guys get a concept of like when you use the verbal. So I'm going to pause. I like to just take a quick pause, especially when I've got a dog who's so skedaddly. So I take a quick pause, and then I'm going to say her name. Lyra, place. Good. Little bit of pressure goes on. I say the verbal. Release the pressure once all 4 paws are on the bed. Good, to mark once she's on it. That whiny stuff right now, you guys, I'm not super concerned about it. That will go away as we continue to work with her, but also I want her to almost kind of get practice doing that because that's a normalcy thing for her without being touched. So I'm still figuring this girl out. So that's where it's like, if your dog's on here whining and say you already have an e-collar condition and they're just whining, correct for it, which I will definitely end up doing with her once this isn't so new. Good. Okay, so then you're guiding the dog on the bed, putting them back on every single time. Shh. Once I start to see a response of she's knowing like, I'm putting her back on, I'm putting her back on, I up my expectations. Good. I mark things that I like. We're taking some food. Good signs here. Good. I will reward her if this is just her food. So if you're doing this, I recommend working your dog for like one of their meals or something if this is new to them. Good. Versus like tons and tons of treats. But what I'm looking for is, okay, we're getting the concept of going on to here, going on to here. Can we get the concept of, nope, I don't want you to step off? That's the expectation I start to pick up a little bit once we get some reps in. So say you just did that for 10 to 20 minutes, your dog's really getting it. The next phase is a little bit higher accountability. So my shush just might be a little bit firmer. My leash pressure might turn into a little bit more of a pop versus pressure on, pressure off. I will show you that. Lyra, break. Good job. So here's 1 rep. We're a little skedaddly girl. Shh. Good. Lyra. Good. Place. Good. I will try to reward. I'm going to try to get her to step off. So I'm moving around. Shh. Place. Shh. Place. Good. Notice how right there, I don't know if you guys caught that, but I'm not just going to sit here and good, good, good as she's looking out the window, not connected whatsoever. I'm walking around her. Shh. Hold that thought. Good. I'm marking her looking to me. So it's a combo of yes, you're on place. Beautiful. That's what I'm looking for. But also like, can we give some attentiveness? That's what I want to mark more of, especially for such a skedaddly dog. Good. Lyra, break. Good job, honey. Let's go. So notice how right now I'm approaching it all the same direction. I'm going to keep doing that for a little bit with this girl, but mix it up. Lyra, place. Good. Shh. Place. Good. So this way, good. Initially, she's just on a 6-foot leash. You could do a 10-foot leash or something like that. You are doing all of this with holding the leash. Sure, you can drop the leash and go pick it up. But initially, yes, you are here working your dog through this. You can step away. Don't just turn your back and walk away. You're going to have a little shadow. Good. You can go up to the dog, reward at a distance. You're going to know what your dog is ready for, okay? I don't love to stay hovering if I don't have to, because I want the dog to make mistakes, but she is a more flighty dog. So I do have to do a little bit more of like, let's work within this area while I'm figuring out how she's gonna respond to me, a new person. Good. And if we stop taking food, I don't make a big deal about it. I'll offer it maybe a little bit later on, and that's also okay. Shh. Place. Good. Good. Notice how I'm not putting leash tension on when I'm holding it. I want to shh. Practice that again where I go to pick up the leash because that's what she thought was her invitation to just walk off. So watch those cues from your dog. Your dog will tell you what they need more practice on. Right now, I'm not focusing on as many reps. I'm more focusing on the staying put because that's where she struggles. She's so flighty. She's not a lay down, chill, I'm good to go, like some of the dogs we work with. Good. I'm gonna try the food again. See, you just never know. Good. You're figuring it out, lovey. Lyra. Notice how her name is not her release. It's Lyra, comma, break. Yeah, that's my girl. And we move again. Shh. She gets a little like, I'm just, shh, little leash pop, like just, no, none of that state of mind. It's not like you're doing anything wrong. It's just like, not healthy, not good for you. Nip it in the bud. Good. A lot of times I like to take some laps around. Good job. Again, this is all on leash right now. This is nothing but leash work and spatial pressure. Place. Good. Good. Notice how that time I kind of kept my body moving as she got on it, me away from the place bed. I'm starting to feel like I can drop the leash more without it being like, oh, I gotta catch her super quick. Again, if she gets off, she gets off. I'm gonna move around more. That's all fine. She can test all of that. Boop, boop, boop. Oh, she's thinking. Oh my goodness. What a cute dog. What a cute dog. I might throw just a little bit of this in. Notice how I went back there versus like over her head. Good, I'll reward for that. Is her state of mind the healthiest state of mind right now? No, but progress. Really focus on those wins, okay? Good. Okay, so again, I'm fast forwarding this so this isn't like a 2-hour video. That's how you would start to work on this if you are guiding your dog on without utilizing an e-collar, okay? On the leash, you can do this again on any, I don't recommend leash pressure with harnesses and stuff like that, maybe if it's a super, super young puppy, but I'm either using slip lead or Hermspringer prong collar with a clip leash so that they have really good pressure and release around the neck. Next phase. Well, really, this is gonna be my first phase when I'm typically working with my board and trained dogs. But owners at home that have done virtual coaching sessions with me or whatever it may be, start there. It's a great place to start. Good. Put the leash down. Go knock on the door. Whatever your dog can handle on session 1, go for it. Don't be afraid to up your pop on that leash or your spatial pressure because your dog is gonna be pushier for you than for me. And she's not in her comfort zone, so of course she's more like, oh, I don't know what you're looking for. So she's probably not gonna be as like crazy as she would be if her dad was doing this with her, okay? How I do this on my normal intro to place session for a canine board and trained dog. On e-collar, on slip lead, dependent on if I'm gonna do a long line or a 6-foot, a dog like her for sure would have this exact setup. 6-foot leash, e-collar. The difference here, same concept of putting them on. Lyra, break. I've done intro to tone with her. Let's go. So I'm gonna take some laps around. Lyra, get her moving with me. Every single time I turn away from her and say her name, I am tap-tapping, Lyra, the tone. Or tap-tap-tapping the tone until she heads my way. But as you can see, I'm just doing a double tap right now, Lyra, because she's responding beautifully to it. Next thing that I do, same concept again. I'm gonna do a shorter leash with her just because flighty, flighty, starting my tone. Place. Good, shh. Good, let me talk through what I just did. When you heard the shush, which on the leash is more of like either pressure put back on or a little bit of a pop, I tapped on the stem at 5 out of 100. That's what I was working with her earlier on, and I just could tell that she responded very nicely to that, okay? So that boundary, I'm pretty much putting into the mix right away like I do with my kennel work. There's a full video of that on here as well. Shh. Please. Good. Shh. Please. Good. Good girl. Good. For a dog like her, I will say I'm using more leash with her than I normally do. She just benefits from having that, okay? So this concept is the exact same. I'm just using my tone, tone, tone for momentum and movement, and my shush stem for that like breaking off of place, that pressure source. Why I like to do it that way a lot too is that I can do this a little bit quicker. Good. So if she goes to step off, I don't feel like I need to get to the leashes quickly because I can give that boundary at that low stem tap at a 5 out of 100. It's very, very minimal. Your dogs might be way higher if their perception level is higher or their state of mind is higher. Her eyes right now, I know you guys can't see it, but they're just softening. Just like she's still anxious and nervy, don't get me wrong, but she's like, okay, you're kind of helping me get out of this like angsty mindset. That's the goal of place, is it being a great household management tool, but also helping a dog cycle down doggy meditation, okay? So my biggest focus when I'm doing place is more about the staying on versus how many reps can I do to get you on. Good girl. Good. Me picking up the leash, not an invitation to pop off. Good, Lyra. I'm holding this up in case I need to hit the stem so you guys can see that red light go on. Bye-bye. Good, honey. When you have a dog too that's like, she does really like being touched, but it's almost in an unhealthy way. So I'm keeping it very minimal and I'm not doing as much like over her head or too much excessive, like fast touching just a little bit and then walking away. It almost like makes her whine more when she gets handled. Good. You can shorten up that leash. Lyra, shh, place. Remember, her name is not the release. Good, no big deal. We want dogs making mistakes. She's learning. Good. I would not have just released her off there when she was like this, where her front paw was up. Do I look like a dog? Her front paw was up. She's really like, ah. Then she settled in. That's the dog I would release. Not this, this. Okay, good. Lyra, shh. Please, look at how I'm using less leash right now and more body. Good. Lyra, good. Lyra, good. Break, good. Lyra, good. Let's approach from a different angle. Place. Shh, place. Good, good girl. I want you guys to go back to the beginning of this video and watch how I kept the leash very short. I had to fully guide her on here and stop with her. There, if you notice the difference, I was using a little bit of momentum. I kept moving, she stepped off, I shush, stemmed, started to walk back with the tone to guide her on, and just that spatial pressure and the muscle memory of getting back on was enough for her to almost like back up and get back on place. That's what you're looking for. If you're looking for progress, even if it's an angsty, nervous dog, that's beautiful progress for her. Good. We want it to be that she's getting the concept of, oh, I'm supposed to stay on this boundary, okay? Good. Place is different than down. Eventually we are gonna shape her going into a down. But if I had a dog at like a coffee shop or something like that, and they're just laying on the ground, I'm not saying place, I'm saying down, okay? So place is a designated boundary you want your dog to go onto, lay down and stay put. Good. Lyra, Good girl. That's all good. That's actually a very good choice. Lyra, break. Good girl. Let's approach from more of like a side angle versus the long way. Lyra, good. You don't need a ton of space to do this, you guys. Like right here, this is a small space. Place. Good. Notice how I keep my body moving. Good. That's a challenge for her. You know, some dogs, that's nothing. For her, that was a big challenge of like, oh, I'm not following her body. At drop-off yesterday, literally, we couldn't even get her to get into a sit for her drop-off day photo without crawling into our skin because she needs to be so close to people. Even though for us, she didn't even know us, she wasn't comfortable with us. Shh. I am gonna start interrupting that, okay? She doesn't even, I think, know she's doing it. So I shushed, stim, little pop. Good. Good girl. Good. I try to work with dogs that, you know, people probably see a young golden retriever and they're like, oh, she's probably so happy-go-lucky, just loves everyone, just so friendly. And she is a doll baby, don't get me wrong, but like she lives a very anxious Lyra in that brain. This is hopefully gonna be helpful for people that are like, I feel alone. Like my dog's either the reactive dog or the nervous, suspicious dog or the, in a new environment, crumbly dog. All of these dogs can learn these concepts as well. It might look different. Like right now, for instance, shh, beautiful response. What I like to practice a lot of is less about the reps and more about the staying put. So the next 15, 20 minutes, I might sit here, of course, with my peripherals on her, checking my email, catching up with social media, her eyes are getting heavy, and waiting for her to settle in even a little bit more. Even if she stays in that sit, fabulous. But I would love if she laid down on her own. I'm not even gonna be on her second session trying to get her to get into a down. I'm very much more of like, let's make it a dance. We're getting on every single time you get off without permission. I am putting you back on. But I also want to give the dog tons of room to figure these things out, okay? So a slight little recap for you. If you are new to place, your dog is new to place, keep it simple. On leash, guide them on, good, release pressure when all 4 paws are on place. Give room around it for them to make mistakes. That's what I see so many owners, they almost are like avoiding the mistakes because they want their dog to learn, they want their dog to do really well, and they want to do really well. Awesome. But we all learn from making mistakes, from having learning opportunities. So give your dog plenty of room to do that because when real life happens, you have someone coming in, you're trying to have them lay there while you're eating dinner, you're not gonna be like this and being able to micromanage them the whole time. You need to utilize place. So make sure you're not always paying attention to your dog like I am right now. I'm watching her, I'm seeing her, but I'm not like, good girl, Lyra, you're doing so good, good, good. You know what I mean? So guide them on, put them back on every single time. If you have a dog that is more like pushy, angsty, I'm gonna be like, heck no, mom, I'm not doing this, and you're just trying to work with them on a flat buckle collar, probably not the tools that you guys need. You might need to look in doing intro to prong for place or on the walk. Lots of videos for you on that as well. So set you and your dog up for success, not just from practicing reps, but like having the right tools in place. Secondly, if you are e-collar training, don't forget to utilize the e-collar within place. It is a game changer, especially once duration starts, you're utilizing it, they're growling or barking at something going on, you can hold them accountable from the other side of the room when they're on place, okay? So lots of different ways that you can introduce place. Again, the concept is teaching a dog to get on, stay put, and hopefully get to a healthy state of mind. For some dogs, that's going to take a little bit more, but even for a skedaddly, anxious, nervous, flighty dog like Lyra, she is going to get it. She's just going to need me to give her consistent feedback every single time, and then she'll also need that back home. If you guys have any questions when you're watching this, practicing it, again, if you watch something and don't go try implementing it, maybe do that first unless you have a clarification question. But a lot of the times we'll be like, well, I tried teaching my dog this. Well, have you tried it my way? Try it first and then let me know if you have any questions. But again, I have yet to train a dog that can't figure out place and how to stay put. It's more, can the human hold them accountable for it and to the level they need to hold them accountable, especially when it's something that it's so in practice for a dog. Okay, so for Lyra, first session, we're keeping expectations nice and low. But as it gets better and better, I'm gonna add vacuuming around her. Nope, you've got to stay put. Guests coming in, all of those things. You need to up the challenges for your dog when they're learning something new. So I hope you found this helpful. Let me know if you have any questions on the place basics, and I'm always happy to help.